South Park 64. Now, South Park 64 is a great Thanksgiving game, but it's also not a good game either, so don't get it twisted. When you think of Thanksgiving games, you might only think of the Turok DLC from Borderlands 2, and that wasn't much better either. Or you might think of Flash games or your favorite in-game holiday events. I think of South Park on the Nintendo 64 and all of those rabid turkeys. This is most likely because I didn't make it far into the game to experience things like the alien enemies or the mutant messed up whatever this is. And that was the thing too, the game was difficult because of how the game was controlled on the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64 controller was trying to be innovative with its limitations of the one analog stick. And since this game was based on the Turok engine that Acclaim already created, you move with the C buttons and aim with the analog stick. Many of you might know it by its more modern term, the southpaw, which is just as unusual as left-handed keyboard users. Surprisingly, reviewers looked past the issues and were more concerned about the repetitive vocals and simplistic nature of the game design.
This is great! This is great! This is great!
Once you played it for a while, the jokes get repetitive, the charm of South Park wears off, and it just becomes another FPS video game. There are 3 versions of the same game that you could experience today, and if you have a PC, I would suggest emulating and upscaling its game, as it benefits from the mouse and keyboard. PlayStation is dated, and the N64 version was difficult because of the one wonky analog stick. Most of the time you'd be aiming by actually moving the character rather than moving the field of view. Footage of this video is from the YouTube user World of Long Plays, and in his gameplay you can see this problem of him moving to aim. The game, I feel, doesn't get enough credit for its soundtrack. Its songs can be hit or miss, but great ones like the Operation Turkey Butt song of South Park are songs that I sometimes go back to just to listen to or add to my own videos on YouTube. The console version suffered from the dreaded fog, which was used to mask load-ins and to attempt to optimize frame rates. It was also met with criticism because the fog was white and half the game had this winter aesthetic, just like the show. So as the levels went on, people complained because when you would look at the level, the sky and the ground would be the same. But as the levels go on, it attempts this progressive time feature that shows that it's getting darker, making it easier to see the foreground from the ground. I love South Park 64 because it was a game that my family acquired during the launch window, and my mom didn't want us to play it as kids. This was back when my dad was getting into video gaming and bought titles for his entertainment. And whenever I felt like playing this, I would load it up and laugh at the menus. Yeah, seriously, they thought fart sounds were a good joke. And I would play the first level multiple times, not by choice, not by boredom, not out of difficulty, but mostly because of how the game was structured. This was a password game, and if you didn't have a memory card or great memory, good luck. And this game was inaccessible for me because of that main reason. As a kid, I didn't know how to read and memorize these passwords, and even to this day, that is why I thought the whole game was just only about turkeys. Operation Turkey Butt mostly pertains to the theme of Thanksgiving, and is just the only thing you're gonna want to play because of how terrible this game plays. The premise is that mutant turkeys have returned and are now invading South Park, and I was confused to why the wiki noted that they returned, only to find out that there was already an episode similarly based on this. You get to pick a character, and then you get to start out in the city. The kids must head through the Renaissance Fair until they reach Chef's Love Shack. You're going to make sure that you collect all the South Park kids before expanding farther into the act, because the extra kids can hold more weapons that you start to find scattered throughout the game. Nothing about the Renaissance Fair is super important to the plot, and once you reach it, you'll notice that there's a big wall that exposes Colorado's wilderness. What's great about this game is that Chef's Love Shack is pasted multiple times. It's super lazy game design by the developers, and even the house's interior is the same, including his lady. Chef tells them about the tank turkeys and how they birth more mutant turkeys. The tank turkeys shit frickin' turkeys! The kids are informed to head into the tunnels and up the mountain until they reach the other Love Shack. And where did he get this information?
Chef, you were right. The comet is doing crazy, spooky things. We're being invaded by mutant turkeys.
I know, children. I saw it in the news.
Of course, the frickin' news. But then again, I wouldn't expect kids to sit there and watch news either, so I'm already fully immersed. I love how these kids are the ones that have to save the world. I guess the military is on vacation. Chef tells them about the sinister nests made throughout the complex tunnels of the volcano after it exploded, and the boys scale the nest to discover the mother turkey, and she's the final boss of the act. In these 3 to 4 levels, it's just turkeys and turkey tanks, and those are the only enemies. On PC, the game is very easy because of the controls, but on consoles, not even your piss-filled snowballs are going to help you when developers started pasting a ton of tank turkeys later on. And that is where the wacky weapons come into play, like the dodgeballs that ricochet all around the level, or the plunger gun that deletes enemies. Once you learn how to incorporate the other weapons, some of these tank turkeys become very easy to beat. The weapons don't have unlimited ammo like the snowballs do, and planning to maintain a decent supply of munitions will become important. I mean, look how easy it is to take out the final boss with the plunger gun. And if you rely on snowballs, yes, this game can be stupid impossible at times. Once you chase the mother turkey out of the nest, she then heads for the town. And if you implement similar strategies with the weapons you find, the level is over in a few seconds. And for your reward, you are granted with your very own Thanksgiving feast, where you eat the Thanksgiving turkey butt.
You know who he was messing with. Hey, you guys, Carter's eating the turkey butt. I'm not eating turkey butt. You son of a bitch, I'll kick you in the nuts.
Now, I look at South Park 64 as like how someone would look at Diehard for Christmas. This is just a game that I get reminded of Thanksgiving, or I just think of when I think of Thanksgiving. It's got the turkeys in there, and I don't think when people think of a game like this, they're thinking of the alien invasion or whatever else is implemented in this video game. It's just something that's cool and something that when I want to go back to, I have. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check other videos in this review style and check the description for more information. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. And until then, have yourself a good one.